Yusuf, go on mute. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. My name is Nastaha Maulid. And as some of you guys remember, I did a presentation last time on Salat.
Nasteho, could you wait? Nasteho, can you wait? Ma'alin, could you tell someone, what was it, to mute?
Please,
To
Sheikh
mute.
Shamate, go on mute. Everybody, please mute yourself.
Yes.
Somebody, I don't hear you.
Oh, another one, Ma'alin, I'm sorry.
Okay, if it's you, it's okay. Go ahead.
Close it. Okay. Yeah, as some of you guys remember, I did a presentation last time on Salat, and we covered the history of Salat, the shurud, which includes like wudu and all the requirements of the person who is able to pray Salat, and we covered all the arkan, everything that you're supposed to do during the Salat, and we covered the sunnah, or like both types of sunnahs, and some other extra stuff. Today we're going to cover شروط القدوة, شروط الجمع, قصري, جمعة, and جنازة. شروط القدوة is the rules for imam and the ma'mum. As we all know, an imam is someone who is leading the salat, and the ma'mum are those two people, the one in the white and the blue, basically standing behind the imam, are the followers. The ma'mum must not continue if the imam's salah breaks. So, for example, if the imam's aura is showing and they don't know, then the ma'mum must continue on their own. Or if the imam's salat breaks and they know that their salat breaks and they leave, someone else can go and take their spot. The next one, you cannot follow someone who already follows someone. So you cannot follow those two ma'mums over there because they're already following an imam. The imam has to be ahead of you, like physically a little bit. Like as you see, the one in the orange is a little bit, like a few steps ahead. They have to be in front of you a bit to be an imam. And you must be praying the same kind of salat. So if the imam is praying janazah, for example, the ma'mum has to be praying janazah. But if the imam is praying, let's say, asr, you can be praying dhuhr because it's the same kind of salat. Shurud al-jam'i is when you conjoin the salats, which means, for example, you're praying dhuhr and asr, you can pray those at the same time. This usually happens when you're traveling, which we'll cover in the rules of traveling in the next slide. Shurud al-jam'i splits into two, jam'i taqdeem and jam'i ta'khir. Jam'i taqdeem is praying asr at dhuhr time, so bring a salah that is coming later at an earlier time. For this, you must begin with dhuhr. You must begin with the salah that is there at the time, and you must make the niyyah that you're putting these two salahs together. There has to not be as much time between the two salahs. So when you finish the first salah, you cannot like go to the bathroom, come back, or go make shah and come back. You have to continue the salah and not have much time between the two. And for the fourth, you must have an excuse like traveling. Jam'i ta'khir is praying dhuhr at asr time, so praying a salah that already happened at a later time. For this, you must begin with dhuhr. You must pray at during the dhuhr time, so it cannot be much later than asr. It still has to be at that dhuhr time. Your excuse has to be valid till you finish the last salah. So till you finish asr, that excuse still has to be valid. And you must have the intention of postponing the dhuhr at the dhuhr time. So when it's dhuhr time and you're still traveling, you must put that intention at that time that you're going to pray dhuhr at a later time. Shurud al-qasri is when you shorten your salat. And this is also where I'm going to cover traveling. The rules for traveling is that the travel has to be permissible, has to be halal. So you can't go and travel and, for example, do gambling or do other stuff that are haram. It has to be halal, like a business trip or going to see family. And the travel itself has to be considered a travel, like it has to be roughly 192 kilometers minimum from your hometown. You must be knowledgeable of this type of salad, so you can't just go jump into it and saying, oh, I'm going to shorten salad and go pray, and you don't know what you're doing. You must set the intention that you are shortening the salad, and you can only shorten salah, 4 rak'ah salah, so you can only shorten dhuhr, asr, and isha, and you would shorten it to two rak'ahs each. You must still be traveling, so it's not before you travel or after you travel. You must still be in that traveling state. You must not follow someone who is praying the complete salat if you are shortening your salat. So if someone here is praying the full four rak'ahs for dhuhr and you're shortening it, you cannot follow them. The salats that you are able to pray together are dhuhr and asr and maghrib and isha. But like you cannot shorten maghrib because it's 3 rak'ahs, not 4. For Jum'ah, which is the Friday prayer, the shurud wujub for this would be you have to be Muslim, you have to be an adult, so for it to be wajib, so pubescent and above. You must be mentally okay and someone who is freely able to. So if you're restricted and, for example, a slave for someone else, then it's not wajib for you to. You must be a male and healthy and a resident of that area. The shurud for the Jum'ah is it happens at dhuhr time. The prayer, and you pray in the city that you're at for it to be wajib for you. If you're traveling, for example, and you're in another town, you can pray the Jum'ah over there, but it's not a must for you to. You must pray together as a group, not individual, and that group itself has to be a minimum of 40 people. The whole point of this salat is to gather everyone of the community together. So that's why it can't just be like 10 people praying. You have to be considered as a gathering. So 40 people minimum. And the gathering has to be all in one place if it's possible. So if a masjid is all full, then it's not possible for everyone of that city to come at that one place. So it can happen at another masjid as well. And there's 2 khutbahs that happen. The shurut for the imam during the khutbah, they must be clean from both hadath akbar and hadath asghar. Their clothes and the area that they're in has to be clean as well. They must be covering their aura, and if possible, they have to stand. They must sit between the khutbahs, and that sitting cannot be, a long time. It has to be just a short amount of time and then stand right back up. Basically the next point must connect both khutbahs. Then they must connect the salat after the khutbah, so not much time between. Their khutbahs have to be read in Arabic, and the ma'mum must be able to hear the imam. So the imam cannot be whispering. They have to project their voice, or even some use microphones in order for everyone to hear. And this happens at dhuhr time as well. The arkan for the khutbah, which is during the khutbah, the imam has to, when he stands for each khutbah, he has to say Allahu Akbar. No, Allahu Akbar, no, my bad. He has to say Alhamdulillah. The imam must also say the salli in both khutbahs, in any type of way. He must encourage the people to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he must read at least one ayah in each khutbah, the first or the second, doesn't matter, as long as it's one ayah. And in the last khutbah, he must make dua for both mu'mineen. And lastly, Salatul Janazah, which is a salat for the dead. This, you must have the intention that you're praying janazah. And this salat, it doesn't have any ruku' or sujood. Anything is all just standing. So you say Allahu Akbar 4 times. The first time you read Fatiha after. The second time you read the Salli. The third time you make dua for the one who passed. And the fourth time you say Assalamu alaikum. And yeah, you're standing at all times. So there's no ruku' or sujood, anything. And with that, that's the end of my speech.
Jazakallah. Thank you. Is there any questions? Any comments? Any
Thank you
su'al?
very much. And I just want to add one thing up to you, Afwan. MashaAllah, barakallahu feek, Abti. I am Nistah Maulid, Jazakallah khair, ilaha ku barakeeyo, ilaha naf Allah ka dhigo. And for those Englishka ay ku hadashay Nistah aan fahminin, qaybaha ay ka hadashay waxa weeye salaadaha la tukado, salaada qudwada shuruudda marka labada qof salaada imaamka maamulka isku xiranayaan iyo shuruudooda. Ay kaloo ka hadashay salaada la isku jamciyo oo labada salaadood duhurka iyo casarka la wada tukado ama maqribka iyo cishaa la wada tukado iyo qaabka loo tukado. Waxay kaloo ka hadashay salaadaha la soo gaabiyo, salaadaha afarta ragcadood sida duhurka, casarka iyo cishaha sida laba looga dhigo iyo sida isku raacaan iyo shuruudooda. Shuruuddu waxa weeyaan tillaabooyinka ay tahay muhiimka in la qaado qofku markuu samaynayo. Halkan waxay kaga hadashaa hadda jumcada iyo sida jumcada loo tukado, qofka tukanaya qofka u yahay, iyo shuruudda haddana laga rabo jumcada laftirkeeda oo ah in qofku magaalada lagu tukanayo, door taymka in la tukanayo, in magaalada dhexdeeda lagu tukado, in dadka tukanaya ugu yaraan 40 qof ay yihiin, in dadku ay ku tukadaan hal masaajid hadday suurtagal tahay. Waxaa la diidayaa culamada kala dunta, laakiin masaajidyada available oo kulligood half ah in qofku uu kooxo meel ay ku tukato oo macnihii khudbada lumaya, jumcada lumaya. Laba khudbo ayaa la akhriyaa oo ka mid ah salaada shuruudeeda ka mid ah in la akhriyo si jumcadu u ansaxdo. Khudbadaha laftirkooda shuruudooda ayay ka hadashay. Imaamku markuu akhrinayo sida uu yahay, maxaa laga rabaa qof see imaanaha akhrinaya, sida inuu imaamku uu daahir u yahay, xadath akbar, xadath asqar, kulli su'aasha la weydiin doonaa, iyo qofku inuu dharkiisa xirto, inuu cawrada asturto, inuu istaago haddii awoodo, inuu fariisto labada khudbo isku xiriiraan dhexdooda u fariisto iyo inta la midka ah. meesha u dambaysa waxay kaga hadashay arkaanu khudbooyinka laftirkooda marka la akhrinayo qofka seebo imaamku u akhrinayo khudbooyinka inay waxaan haysato way sida alxamdulilah inay ka bilaabato uusan bismillahi ku bilaabinin iyo wax kaleete, iyo khudbooyinka inuu salliga nabiga calayhi salaatu wasalaam khudbada ay ku dhex jiro inay taqwada ilaahay laisku sheego iyo exagera. Intaas ayay maarta ka hadashay. salaatul janaaza ayaa iyadana inta kaga hadashay oo iskugu jirta qaybaheeda kala duwan. qof marka lagu tukanayo maxaa qofka tukanaya ay samaynayaa inuu 4 jeer allahu akbar yiraahdo, mid walba taymka u dhahayana inta ayay kusoo qortay maasha allah. faatixadoo kale ka hor allahu akbar faatixa, allahu akbar salli, allahu akbar duca, allahu akbar assalaamu calaykum, inaysan rukuuc lahayn iyo sujuud lahayn. intaas ayay ahayd ku koobnay guud ahaan intii aan fahminin presentationka maasha allah. nasteexo mawlid ilaahay ha barakeeyo. qofkii su'aalo qaba first Abdullahi aan kusoo celinaya insha allah. We will continue from there.
Any questions, comments for Nasteha?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I have one question for Nasteha. She told us that there's 40 people minimum for the Jum'ah. I just want to clarify, is there a 40 people minimum or is it 40 guys of minimum? Can she clarify that, please?
Okay, it has to be 40 men minimum. It can't even be 39. And it doesn't include the women, it's just the men itself has to be at least 40.
Okay, thank you so much. That's my